You finally have some money that didn't disappear right away. That should feel good. But instead, you feel nervous to touch it because for most of your life, money never stayed. Maybe it's a couple $100, maybe 500, maybe it's the first time you've seen 1,000 sit in your account without it going straight to rent, bills, a repair, or helping someone else. Then somebody says you should invest it, and instead of feeling excited, you feel tense because that money does not look like an opportunity. It looks like protection. It looks like the next grocery bill, the tire that might go flat, the week your paycheck comes up short. When every dollar feels like protection, investing does not feel smart. It feels like letting go of safety. That is why investing can feel more dangerous when being broke feels normal. Not because you do not understand that money can grow, but because you understand how fast money can disappear. Cash has never just been cash to you. It has been breathing room. A higher bank balance changes how you sleep. You check the app and feel your shoulders drop. For once, the number is not flashing a warning. You can handle one small problem without borrowing. You can handle the grocery bill without doing math in the aisle. That money feels safe because you can see it. You can reach it. You know it will still be there tomorrow morning. And millions of people are working with the same thin margin. The Federal Reserve found that 63% of adults could cover a $400 emergency using cash or its equivalent in 2025, while only 55% had savings for 3 months of expenses. So when cash finally stays, you protect it. Investing changes that feeling. The balance moves, the market drops, the numbers turn red, and the money that made you feel protected now feels exposed. A person who has been reset by emergencies does not look at money and see opportunity first. They see protection. That is not stupidity. It is financial memory. You remember the savings account that finally started growing and the repair that emptied it. You remember paying down the card, then using it again because a bill arrived before the next paycheck. You remember helping family because there was nobody else. You remember thinking you were finally getting ahead, then watching one bad month erase 6 careful ones. Those moments teach you not to trust safety too quickly. Being broke does not just affect your bank account. It trains your nervous system to distrust anything that is not immediately available. So when someone says, just invest, they are talking about math. You are remembering consequences. They see a market return. You see the possibility of needing that money on the exact day it is down. And that fear deserves a better answer than stop being scared. Because sometimes the fear is warning you about a real mistake. You should not invest money that is keeping next month together. Your rent money should not be riding through market swings. Your grocery money should not need time to recover. Your emergency fund should not become less accessible because someone made cash sound lazy. Emergency money has one job: stay available. Investing money has another job: grow over time. The Federal Reserve found that 59% of adults had at least one major unexpected expense in 2025. Vehicle repairs, home or appliance repairs, and medical costs were among the most common. Life does not ask whether your money is currently down 10% before sending the bill. The mistake is not being afraid of risk. The mistake is asking the same dollar to be both your emergency fund and your wealth plan. When one small pile of money is responsible for everything, every investment feels reckless. But when safety money and growth money are separated, the decision changes. Now the money in the market is not needed next Friday. It has time. And time is what makes normal market movement feel less like a personal emergency. Part of the fear also comes from the version of investing most people see. A stock crashes. A crypto account gets wiped out. Someone loses their savings chasing a tip. A stranger posts an overnight gain. Another promises the next one. Of course, it looks like gambling. The loudest version of investing is usually built around speed. Buy now. Sell fast. Do not miss out. Get rich before everyone else notices. But long-term investing is not supposed to feel like a casino. Buying one company and hoping it explodes is different from spreading money across many investments. Trying to predict tomorrow is different from contributing to a retirement plan for decades. Investor.gov explains that diversification spreads money across investments to reduce the damage one poor performer can cause, although it cannot remove every risk. An index fund, for example, seeks to track a market index instead of depending on one company's success. Investing feels like gambling when the only version you have seen is people trying to get rich fast. The quieter version is less exciting. A small amount leaves each paycheck. It buys a broad mix of investments. Then it stays there for years. That is the part people rarely show. But even after you understand the difference, the market can still feel dangerous for one simple reason. Its risk is visible. You can log in and see the loss. You can watch the balance fall. You can read a headline that makes the future sound broken. The risk of never investing does not look like that. There is no red number showing what inflation removed. No notification showing the growth lost by waiting. No warning that your future still depends on your ability to keep working. You do not feel the damage today. You feel it years later, when your income stops, but your money never learned how to produce anything without you. The market risk is obvious. The risk of never owning anything grows quietly, and access to that ownership is not evenly shared. Gallup reported that 62% of Americans owned stock in 2025. Among households earning at least $100,000, ownership was 87%. Among households earning less than $50,000, it was only 28%. The people with more financial cushion are more likely to own assets. The people with less cushion are more likely to stay dependent on wages. Not because they are less intelligent, because every dollar is already busy protecting the present. That creates the next trap, waiting for the perfect time. I will invest when I earn more, after I clear the debt, after life calms down, when the market feels safe, when I understand everything. Each reason sounds responsible, and sometimes waiting is responsible, but temporary caution can quietly become permanent delay. There will always be another expense. The market will never promise not to fall, and life rarely announces that it is finally safe to begin. Waiting until investing feels completely safe can quietly become the most expensive decision, not because you missed one hot stock, because you lost the one advantage small amounts need most: time. Compound growth builds when returns begin earning returns of their own. It looks unimpressive early. That is why delay feels harmless. The cost stays hidden until years have passed. So the first step is not risking everything. It is learning the system well enough to stop treating every investment like the same threat. Learn what a retirement account does. Check whether your workplace offers one. Understand the investment inside the account. Know when you will need the money. Avoid anything you cannot explain simply. And be suspicious when someone promises high returns with little risk, pressures you to act immediately, or uses fear of missing out to rush the decision. Those are common investment fraud warning signs identified by investor.gov. You do not need to become fearless. You need to become informed enough. that fear is not making every decision. Then separate safety from growth. First, protect bills and near-term expenses. Money needed soon should remain available. Second, build emergency savings. Not because cash creates wealth, but because it can keep the next problem from becoming new debt. Third, deal with expensive debt deliberately. If a credit card is charging heavy interest, aggressive investing may not be the first priority. Fourth, begin long-term investing with money that has time. Not money you need next week. Not money holding your entire life together. Money that can stay invested through normal market movement. Start small enough that you can continue. A small automatic contribution is more useful than one large emotional decision you cannot repeat. And when a workplace retirement plan offers an employer match, learn exactly how it works. Some employers match part of an employee's contribution. Investing becomes less terrifying when every dollar has a different job. Your rent money protects the month. Your emergency fund protects the setback. Your debt plan reduces what the past keeps charging you. Your investments give the future something that can grow. Now one account is no longer being asked to rescue every version of your life. And being afraid does not mean you are bad with money. It may mean surprises kept hurting you. Your caution came from experience. You do not have to shame yourself out of that. You need a system that respects it. The goal is not to stop caring about risk. The goal is to stop letting fear keep every dollar trapped in survival mode. Cash helps you survive the next problem. Investing helps future money stop depending entirely on your next paycheck. One protects the present. The other gives the future a chance to grow. But there is another reason future money keeps disappearing. Sometimes it is not fear of investing. Sometimes stress convinces you to spend the very safety you are trying to build. The purchase feels like relief. Then the pressure returns with a receipt. Once you understand why fear can keep money trapped in cash, the next question becomes why emotional relief keeps pulling that money back out. Because some spending habits do not look destructive. They look like self-care. That is what the next video breaks down. If this made you look at money differently, subscribe to Fiscal Sense, because the goal is not to look rich. The goal is to stop being financially easy to break.